Marks down, they told me to be responsible today. My name is Sergio Highland. I am formerly incarcerated. I spent 22 years in prison, and I am now the assistant to the executive director of the Abolitionist Law Center in Straight Ahead. So, first and foremost, thank you for gathering today to discuss a topic of utmost importance: the right of incarcerated people to vote. I want to thank all of the elected officials who have taken leadership on this issue, which is, for some reason, very unpopular among some of their colleagues and some of their constituents as well. So I want to thank everybody for being bold with this leadership. As a human rights activist and a former prisoner who has experienced the challenges of our criminal justice system, I stand before you as a living testament to the power of second chances. But one crucial aspect of that second chance remains denied to many of those behind bars: their right to vote. This, my friends, is not just a legal issue. It is a fundamental violation of human rights. In a nation that prides itself on inclusion and equality, it is alarming that we continue to disenfranchise a significant portion of our population, human beings who just happen to be incarcerated. The denial of voting rights to incarcerated individuals is not just a constitutional violation, it is a direct assault on the very principles upon which this democracy is built. The 14th Amendment is unequivocal in assuring that all citizens are afforded equal protection under the law. By preventing incarcerated individuals from voting, we are creating a subclass of citizens, effectively stripping them of their fundamental human right. This is a blatant violation of the 14th Amendment and, in essence, a contradiction to the core values of our nation. Moreover, voting is a fundamental human right. It is not a privilege to be granted or denied arbitrarily. All human beings possess inherent dignity and rights, and the ability to participate in the democratic process is one of them. To deny prisoners this right is to undermine their humanity and to perpetuate a cycle of exclusion, inequality, and injustice. Let us not forget that many incarcerated individuals come from marginalized communities like the one I grew up in, where systemic inequalities had plagued us for generations. By denying them the right to vote, we are further disenfranchising communities that are already struggling. This is not just an attack on individuals, it is an assault on communities. And it is no doubt a sterling reminder of historical attempts to suppress the voting power of Black and brown communities. The argument that incarcerated people should lose their right to vote as a form of punishment is flawed. Voting is not a reward. It is a responsibility that comes with citizenship. We should encourage active civic engagement, even within our prisons, to help those incarcerated reintegrate into society. Denying the right to vote undermines the very rehabilitation efforts we claim to support. It is time to break the cycle of disenfranchisement and exclusion. In conclusion, we must recognize that keeping incarcerated people from voting is a grave injustice. It is a constitutional violation, a human rights violation, and a method of exclusion heavily based upon race and socioeconomic status that should find no safe haven in a nation that prides itself on inclusion and equality. We must stand together to ensure that every citizen, regardless of their past, has the opportunity to participate in this democracy. This is not merely a matter of policy, but a reflection of our commitment to justice and fairness. The time to change is now, and it begins with restoring the voting rights of our most ignored, forgotten about, and excluded population who languish behind walls tucked neatly and intentionally out of sight. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you to our advocates, and we appreciate you, the press, bearing with us. We have just a few more speakers.